We live in a world that has forgotten how to listen. A disconnection from the soil, from the blood, from the ancient rhythms that once dictated the movement of your ancestors. Carl Jung spoke of the bush soul. He believed that a part of the human psyche is not human at all, but animal. It is that instinctual pre-verbal force that knows things your intellect cannot comprehend. It knows when a room feels wrong. It knows when a person is lying before they speak a single word. But we have silenced this voice. We have buried it under layers of logic and social politeness. We call it acting civilized, but the psyche does not forget. It projects these lost instincts onto the natural world. When you feel an inexplicable pull toward a specific creature, when you see a wolf and feel a shiver of recognition, or watch an eagle and feel a phantom ache in your own shoulders, it is a mirror. Your unconscious mind is selecting the vessel that best represents your own buried power. Today, we are here to perform an excavation. We are going to look at the 10 primary archetypes of the animal soul, analyze the psychology behind them, and reveal what your attraction to them says about the power you are refusing to claim. If the bear calls to you, you have a biology that fights against the modern grind. You are not built to run on a treadmill forever. You operate on the law of the great cycle. The bear represents the power of the earth itself. It hunts with great force, but it understands that you cannot just keep giving energy away. You have to get it back. The bear goes into the cave not just to sleep, but to reset. It lowers its heart rate. It goes into the dark to save its life force. You probably feel a heavy physical need to get away from people. Your energy moves like a tidal wave, huge and powerful when it crashes, but then it needs to pull all the way back. You have days where you need to lock the door and sit in total silence. People might think you are cold or lazy, but you are not. You are recharging. You are digesting the weight of the world. When you deny the bear, you get irritable. You get a depression that is actually just a suppressed need for rest. You force yourself to keep working when your body is screaming for the cave. Your power is your density. You are solid. You ground the people around you. When the world spins out of order, you do not move. You are the mountain. You teach us that real strength includes the ability to stop, to go into the dark, and to come out of the cave with a terrifying new energy. The wolf is often seen as a lonely wanderer, but psychology tells us this animal is actually the master of the tribe. The wolf represents the highest form of loyalty and order. The wolf understands that the group is a single living thing. It has a mask for the outsider, teeth, growls, hard lines. But for the inner circle, the wolf is playful, devoted, and soft. The wolf knows that the strength of the one depends on the strength of the group. Aggression is just a tool used to protect the people it loves. You likely have a very small, locked circle of friends. Maybe only 2 or 3 people, but you would do anything for them. To everyone else, you seem icy or hard to reach. You scan every new room for threats. You test new people. You require proof of honor before you let them in. You hate fake politeness because it threatens the honesty of the tribe. When the wolf is hurt, it becomes paranoid. You might cut people off instantly for small mistakes. You risk becoming the lone wolf not because you are strong, but because you refuse to trust anyone again. Your gift is knowing who is real. You have a radar for betrayal. While others get tricked by a smile, you see the motive behind it. You are the guardian. You keep the bad elements out so your people can thrive. You show us that love is not something you give to everyone. It is a weapon you only give to the worthy. The eagle flies so high that the details of the ground disappear. It focuses on the big picture. This animal speaks to a mind that naturally pulls away from small problems to see where things are going. The eagle represents the ability to look at the blinding truth without blinking. It is the observer. It refuses to get involved in the petty fights on the forest floor. It rises above the land, using the air currents to hold a high position. It remains cold, precise, and detached. It is the intellect cleaned of all emotion. You often feel like an alien when people talk about their daily drama. When friends panic over small things, you struggle to care because you see that it won't matter in a year. You live in the future. You predict how things will end long before they start. This height can make you lonely because few people can breathe the thin air where you live. You see the whole chessboard while others argue about one pawn. The shadow of the eagle is arrogance. You risk becoming so detached that you lose your connection to humanity. You can become cruel in your logic, forgetting that the people on the ground are feeling pain that you have chosen to rise above. Your power is total objectivity. You watch a disaster happen and stay calm because you are watching it from a distance. You are the strategist. You see the destination while others argue about the map. You remind us that the best way to solve a maze is to fly over the walls. The fox is a small hunter in a land of giants. To live, it has to be smarter than it is strong. This animal belongs to the thinker who solves the puzzle by breaking the rules. In old stories, the trickster is the agent of change. The fox lives in the in-between places, the edge of the woods, the twilight hours. It rejects brute force. It uses cunning. The trickster understands that rigid rules are weak, and that a locked door is just an invitation to find a window. You don't fit into a box. You can move through high society and rough neighborhoods with the same ease. You are a chameleon. You shift your personality to match the room. This shows a high social intelligence. You don't crash into walls. You flow around them like water. You're the person who finds the shortcut in the maze. The shadow of the fox is manipulation. Your ability to wear masks can make you lose your own true face. You might use your brain to trick people just for fun or take advantage of those who are slower than you. Your gift is mental speed. You see connections where others see walls. You are the diplomat and the spy. You can enter any room and leave with the prize. You teach us that in a world of rigid rules, being flexible is the ultimate power. People think the deer is afraid. They are wrong. The deer has the best sensors in the forest. It represents high-level data collection. The deer represents intuition in its sharpest form. It acts like a living antenna. It picks up the slightest shift in the air, the snap of a twig, the smell of anger. It doesn't fight the tiger. It knows the tiger is there before the attack even starts. You feel everything. Loud places, harsh lights, and angry people drain your battery fast. You walk into a room and instantly read the mood. You absorb the unspoken feelings of others. Your body constantly reads data that other people ignore. Most likely, you score very high on empathy and emotional intelligence. You know when someone is lying because their vibration changes. The shadow of the deer is panic. Your sensors are so open that you risk getting flooded by other people's emotions. You might retreat into fear, seeing the whole world as a threat rather than navigating it with your powers. Your gift is the sixth sense. Your gut feeling is almost always right. Your gentle nature makes people trust you. They tell you secrets they hide from everyone else. You are the early warning system for your tribe. You navigate the dark woods by feeling the vibrations of the earth. The snake moves with its belly on the ground. It has no legs to separate it from the dirt. It represents the life force in its rawest form, the energy that can both kill and cure. The snake is a symbol of medicine and poison. Its growth depends on shedding its surface. When the skin gets too tight, the snake goes blind for a while, then painfully scrapes off the old layer to reveal the new scales underneath. You are drawn to the darker side of life. You're okay with difficult topics like death and trauma. You have likely been poisoned in your past, a betrayal or loss that should have destroyed you, but you digested the venom. You turn the poison into wisdom. You are comfortable in the dark because you know that is where growth happens. The shadow of the snake is revenge. Because you carry the poison, you can use it to strike at others when you feel threatened. You might hold on to grudges, letting the venom run in your own blood. Your power is regeneration. You heal from wounds that would rot other people. You constantly evolve, throwing away old habits and beliefs the moment they stop you from growing. You are the healer who has tasted the dark, so you know exactly how to cure it. While the snake sheds its skin, the butterfly does something much more radical. It melts. This animal speaks to the terrifying need to fall apart so you can become something better. The butterfly represents the mystery of death and rebirth. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar doesn't just grow wings. It dissolves its whole body into liquid. It unmakes itself completely. It gives up its old identity so the new one can be born. This is the psychological version of hitting rock bottom. Your life story probably looks like several different lives stitched together. You look back at who you were 5 years ago and you see a stranger. You go through cycles where your job, your relationships, and your beliefs all collapse. You feel like you are dissolving because, in a way, you are. You cannot grow in a straight line. You have to die to live. The shadow of the butterfly is the refusal to land. You might get addicted to reinventing yourself. You never stay in one form long enough to build something real. You risk becoming flighty, avoiding the hard work of staying put. Your power is the courage to fall apart. Most people cling to their comfort zone, but you step into the fire willingly. You carry the wisdom of someone who has been undone and put back together. You are living proof that the end of the world is often just the beginning of flight. In a world that loves speed, the turtle is a rebel. It carries its house on its back. This represents total self-containment. The turtle represents deep time. It does not rush. It relies on a defense that is passive but unbreakable. When the storm comes, the turtle goes inside its own center. It becomes a stone. It outlasts the attacker by simply enduring. It proves that the armor is part of who you are. You move at your own speed. You refuse to be rushed by anyone. When people push you, you dig in. You are the anchor for your family and friends. You offer a stability that feels ancient. Panic doesn't move you. You have a thick skin, making you hard to hurt with insults or drama. You are the historian, the one who remembers. The shadow of the turtle is being rigid. You can get so withdrawn inside your shell that you refuse to let anyone in. You risk becoming stuck, refusing to move even when you need to. Your gift is longevity. You win the race by not stopping, not by being fast. Your boundaries are absolute. You teach the world that power doesn't always have to roar. Sometimes it simply withstands. You are the fortress that time cannot wear down. The lion rules the land not by running around, but by the weight of its presence. It masters the art of saving power until the perfect moment. The lion represents the confident self. It refuses to waste energy on showing off. It holds its ground with a lazy confidence. It knows it is dangerous, so it feels no need to prove it. It protects its pride with a calm, heavy gravity. The lion is the center around which everything else moves. You end up in charge even when you don't ask to be. People look to you for direction when they are confused because you give off a vibe of competence, but you feel the heavy weight of this expectation. You are protective. You have a temper that is slow to wake up but terrifying when it comes out. You demand respect not with words, but with how you carry yourself. The shadow of the lion is vanity. You can get addicted to being admired. You might demand loyalty without giving protection in return, becoming the king who eats his own children to stay in power. Your power is radiant. You give others permission to shine just by being your full self. You lead rather than compete. You hold the center of the room. You show that true authority is about being absolutely composed, not about being loud. The horse has lived with humans for thousands of years, but it still has a spirit that cannot be fully broken. It embodies pure moving energy. The horse represents the libido, not just sex, but the energy that drives all life. It is the will to move, to conquer distance, to expand. It bridges the gap between wild instinct and focus. The horse needs wide, open spaces. It demands movement to process its own energy. Being trapped makes you physically sick. You hate tight schedules, small rooms, and controlling relationships. You need to move to think. You thrive on travel and hard work. You have a huge capacity to get things done, but only when you believe in the mission. You refuse to be forced. You must choose to run. You communicate through action rather than words. The shadow of the horse is restlessness. You might run away from your problems instead of facing them. You risk becoming unable to commit to anything because you're always looking for the next horizon. Your gift is momentum. You carry heavy loads across great distances. You push projects and people forward through sheer willpower. You are the engine of freedom. You have a wild heart that refuses to be tamed, and that spirit inspires everyone around you to break their own chains.